Hello everyone. I figured I'd make a little video here addressing some of the things which kind of arisen lately and have been made clear to me lately, I suppose. Amid the, I suppose, charges, it include arrogance, pretentiousness, pompousness actually, and all that. Now, I obviously have problems as a human being, and part of this channel is that I'm clear about all of that. I don't make any effort to hide my flaws or to pretend to be someone I'm not. In my opinion, the main problem of the world today is the lack of authenticity with people. And this is something which seeps into everything: politics, culture, everything. The lack of authenticity and actual understanding of oneself and being honest and open about oneself. The lack of all these things is what's caused a lot of our problems, if you like. From a social point of view, it is a spiritual problem. A lack of self-understanding, a lack of understanding of the transcendent, and, that sort of thing. I've explained this idea plenty of times. But that's why I don't make an effort to really be on my best behavior. You know what I mean? I don't use my channel and my presence with writing or anything to just sterilely kind of discuss an issue. If there's a part of my person there, then that's not a problem. It's kind of like an exhibitionism, not in a perverse or, masochistic sort of way. I'm not looking for attention and people to pity me or anything like that. Really, I'm working to expose the negativity which exists in myself in order that I am purified and that my flaws are dissected, exposed, and so on. And I hope that I inspire I inspire the same in other people, because the only way to change the contemporary society with all of its problems is to change ourselves individually. That's all most of us can do. That's all the power we have. We can't just go out and, click our fingers and solve all of the problems that are out there. Our only option is to turn inwards and think about ourselves and what's in our immediate vicinities. So with my videos and all the rest, I'm clear about my person as a means to kind of work towards that, to work towards bettering myself. But it is a two-way street. I'm clear about myself, but with that does come the expectation, and this might be a mistake, that other people are clear to me, not only about themselves, but how they perceive me. This, however, doesn't seem to be what's happened, with perhaps one exception. Recently, tens of people, at least 20, have, believed that I'm arrogant, or something along those lines. Now, I've responded to this, so I've taken notice of it. I've spoken to other people about it, and so they say I should just ignore it, because that is a tiny, tiny, tiny percentile of my overall subscribers on YouTube. 20, 30 people is nothing. It's like 2% of my, just under 2% of my overall subscribers. But what annoys me about this is the fact that no one, apart from one person, and it's not even that straightforward, actually came to me and said, "Adam, there's a problem. You're acting like a prick." Where I've been perhaps dismissive of people, pretentious or presumptuous, judgmental. And these are problems I have, right, as a person. These are flaws I have. But no one has actually come to me and said, privately, on like Skype or whatever, Adam, you're acting like a cunt, you should try and stop. However, given the opportunity to make it clear to me that people aren't happy with my behaviour, plenty of people seem to be happy to do it anonymously. That is a shame, and that is quite unnecessary, actually. All of this nonsense about my behaviour and my arrogance could have been averted had someone just told me. And I have had conversations with very close friends, where we speak about these sorts of issues. But they aren't the sorts of people who I'm talking to here. In fact, I know for a fact that among, I should say, the people who think this about me are people who I considered friends, who have known me for actually several years, who didn't do it personally, who didn't say, like message me one night on Skype or something, and I'm usually online for quite a good period of the day. I'll have Skype on as I'm doing other things. They didn't say, Adam, we need to talk, But I understand that perhaps I'm expecting too much of people. Which is why I'm now, just for the record, from now on I'm going to stop being so personal on this channel. I won't be mentioning my personal issues and my personal life on this channel. It's a waste of time. All it does is cause misunderstandings, raise questions, confuses and frustrates people. And I say that, and at the same time I have had plenty of people come to me in private and say that they appreciate this, that I am open about these things, and that it is important. Juxtaposed to, okay, I have I'm open about my private self, but yeah, all the bad dums come out there as well, all the problems in my personality, and people don't have patience for that. Understandably, but there's no desire, it seems, to correct that behaviour. If you have a friend who's fucked up, you should help them. If I have a friend who's made a mistake, who says something stupid, I tell them. And that's that. But yeah, just for the record, I'm making the decision now. I won't be bothering with that again from now on, because it's a waste of time. It's not understood, and that doesn't surprise me. And especially considering most of the people who are aware of myself and the podcasts and everything else, they are young men, young modern Western men. And by me speaking about myself in such personal ways, it causes them to think about themselves. And that isn't something that is easy to do. And they will work to avoid doing that. And that isn't a criticism of anyone. It's an observation. But should anyone want to talk to me about anything, I am easily contactable. I'm not shutting down, that sort of that way of contact. I'm not saying no to talking to people about personal things, because I do hold by the fact that it is the personal dimension which has to be addressed. Our own inner demons, our own problems, our own instabilities. Those are the sorts of things we all should, and I mean everyone in a way, not just people who are kind of more abstract-minded, but really everyone. We should think about ourselves and want to live lives of quality and purposefulness. It isn't enough to just dislike Jews or Muslims or liberals. That should come as a consequence, as a secondary fact of your own self-knowing and affirmation. But anyway, so that's that. I mean, I will be starting another channel. Those of you who have been around for, I think a year ago, will remember a secondary channel I had where I kind of did really impromptu, informal live streams. Then I shut that channel down, moved those live streams onto my main channel. That became the Hangout series, which now is basically the Plebeian podcast. Or, it's kind of, I merged things together. But I will be restarting that second channel. And now will be kind of where, yeah, that would be the kind of more cozy, private sort of place where I'm not speaking to 1,700 people and expecting them all to kind of, tolerate my bullshit. And I suppose it is unfair of me to a degree, but my standards are high of other people because they are high of myself. That might be an error on my part. But nonetheless, I do hope I haven't grossly offended or pissed off anyone. I might have done a bit, and I'm quite aware that I have upset a few people. It's funny, when this all came to light, that there are quite a number of people who are annoyed with me, and who actually dislike me. I was really, I don't know, I wasn't pleased about it. I wasn't angry, but I was really worried. I felt really guilty. It reminds me of something which happened when I was in preschool. I was just with my mates, and I got called into the teacher's office, and this kid there, I think it was like this ginger kid, he told the teacher that I was bullying him and that he was scared of me. And I can't remember. I don't think I was bullying him, but I actually started crying as a kid. I was like, oh man, I must have been like 8 years old or something, and I started crying because I felt so guilty that he was scared of me. And that's the thing, the fact that I was apparently such an asshole. And that's kind of how I feel about all this. I do project an image of confidence. I'm aware of that. I do with my talks. I do watch them back, or I watch them back. I'm self-aware. I'm extremely self-aware. But that confidence I project isn't bulletproof. And oftentimes it can become arrogance. And again, I'm aware of that. But it's something which has to be kept in check, and it is a problem I have. Especially as of late. This never used to be a problem. I never used to be an arrogant person. But it's something which I seem to have developed over the past year and a half. It kind of comes in phases. And especially when I'm kind of feeling quite autumnal or depressive. Since my speech at the London Forum, I've been... And I'm talking about my bloody personal life again, but this will be the last instance. I've been very depressed. And it's all really... all this arrogance accusations, it's all kind of come to light now, and it's kind of reached an apex now, and that isn't an accident. It's because I've been in this fucking miserable state of mind for, fuck me, 3 weeks. Just kind of ending now. I'm easing out of it now, which is why all of a sudden I've had this realization. But hey, there you go. So yeah, I've just been in a fucking state. And that's what's a part of all this. And it is a trouble, because I don't want to lie to people. I don't want to be someone I'm not. I don't want to bullshit people. I don't want to pretend to be anyone but myself. And so my natural inclination is simply to have no filter. And in my depressive phases, one of which I've just come out of, that's there as well. I'm honest there as well, and that has consequences. So my apologies for anything I might have instigated or implied or even fucking said, whatever. I am open to criticism. Allegations that I can't take criticism are bullshit. I can absolutely take criticism, but I will take criticism when I know that it's personal and when I know that it's serious. It isn't enough that someone leaves a comment saying, haha, you're a fag. Or something to that effect. Criticism needs to be direct. It needs to be intensely and violently personal. And it has to be real. and that's fine. I have no problem with that kind of criticism. But offhand dismissive criticism from anonymous people on the internet whom I know don't create anything, don't contribute to anything, um, that annoys me more than anything else. That I can't take it seriously. I can take the idea of upsetting people seriously, but the actual criticisms themselves, I have to just kind of cast that aside, because it's, if people actually meant it, they would come to me personally, which has happened once, and a little bit since all of this nonsense has come to light, and I appreciate the people who have actually had the honesty to approach me about my problems and seek to fucking fix the problems. You know, that's what it's all about. Um, just to reiterate, a part of this channel is about getting people to think about themselves and the qualities with which, and the quality they have in life, and the quality of their persons and themselves. A part of that is self-criticism and wanting to help other people. You know, I genuinely want to help people. I genuinely want to improve the lives of other people. You know, using myself as an example for certain things and running parallels. I only have good intentions. But part of that is honesty, and it's being direct and forthright and straight to the point, and not beating around the bush, and not being, you know, sarky, and basically just being serious where it's necessary. I'm a pretty relaxed person most of the time. I can take a joke. I'm good with banter. But where there is call for emotional seriousness, that's a call which has to be answered. So, yeah. I think I'll leave this at that. I will leave a link to the newer channel in the description for those people who wants to partake in that. But otherwise, it's not a big deal. Just, you know, apologies again for any nonsense. I am an idiot, for fuck's sake. I don't need to have. I don't have to self-flagellate. I've done that enough. But there is plenty of room to grow into, and plenty more growing up to do, and I am aware of that. At least not because I've had people fucking tell me. So again, thank you for listening.